The music is playing.
Sure.
Come on in.
The party's still on, lads.
How's it
The
going?
party's still going on here in Red Square. Hope all's well.
Yeah, all is great. You are like Forrest Gump, literally eyewitness to some historic moments.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. And last week we're in Manish Naya Square. This actually is Red Square, and behind me you'll see St. Basil's Cathedral, which was completed in 1561. So pretty historic world site behind me in Red Square at the capital of the World Cup, effectively, Moscow. And yesterday was just an incredible occasion, and the unpredictability of sport takes a new turn. And Mexico were full value for their win. They were hungrier, they fought for it. Their fans were incredible, a 12th man. And Hervin Lozano scored that winning goal. And interesting thing about Hervin Lozano, he's nicknamed Chucky after that horror film Child's Play, because when he was young at the academy, he used to scare people by jumping from under the bed and scaring lads. So that's Hervin Lozano's story. But when Carlos Osorio got them into the World Cup with 3 games to spare, he's got a 66% record. And Germany were flat. I don't know if they were complacent, but they were definitely flat yesterday. When Lozano scored, beer just flew everywhere. People were throwing beer cans and beer glasses into the air. Well, obviously the plastic glasses, like it was hats of Cheltenham. It was just bizarre. So just like the smell of beer. And it wasn't in a kind of a negative way. It was just some pure joy of celebration. The fans, I've been very lucky enough to be at a Champions League final and an Olympic final, but the atmosphere yesterday would definitely rival it and match it. The Mexican fans were absolutely fantastic, and probably their biggest win since they qualified for the quarterfinals of their own World Cup back in 1986.
It's strange when you know that a moment is iconic just as it happens, and say Ronaldo's free kick on Friday and Lozano's goal yesterday, both of those moments are right up there. We know we're going to be seeing Lozano's face for years and years and years to come in those epic World Cup montages.
Yeah, and he had the form coming into it. He's 22 years of age. He's playing for PSV. He scored 18 times for them. So he had good form coming into the tournament. He's got the fearlessness of youth. But Mexico played. I mean, Javier Hernandez did not play as well. They lacked a lot of composure in the final third. But all you need is one goal. They got it, and they were excellent on the break and breaking at pace. I thought Hector Herrera in the middle of the park was fantastic. Magisterial. Outplayed Kroos and Khedira to me. And Germany, Kroos forced a save from Ochoa to go onto the bar in the first half. But they didn't have that cutting edge. When the likes of Schweinsteiger and Lam retire, you wonder what that leaves in terms of leadership and dominance. And maybe those friendly results, often we don't look into friendlies very often, but maybe the friendly results did matter. And just in terms of I remember with Trapattoni, we didn't have a good run into the Euro 2012 campaign, and maybe Germany's kind of ordinary run into the World Cup 2018 campaign was illustrated yesterday. Timo Werner. Like, I was looking at Diego Costa on Friday, and that first goal was just a fantastic goal, and just the brute strength and the finishing. And when I compared him in my own mind to Timo Werner yesterday, I didn't see the comparison, and I don't see that Germany have a world-class striker to complement, obviously, the great passing and midfield talent they have. But it was the hunger, it was the passion, it was the spirit of Mexico. It was almost like the Republic of Ireland performance from years gone by.
I presume the Germans had travelled in great numbers and were there and were making their presence felt, and yet it was obviously the Mexicans who were the ones who were kind of setting the tone.
Drowned out, lads. There were lots of them. They were occupying one section of the stand, but drowned out from the get-go, from the beginning of the game. And Mexicans were just fantastic. And a lot of Brazilians there as well, maybe because of 4 years ago, in unison with the Mexicans. And just the lads to my left there was lads just going crazy for the whole 90 minutes. I don't know where they get the energy from. Obviously, they're just high in the World Cup, but they were just going absolutely mad. Lots of masks. They have this thing with the wrestling masks, the Mexican fans. I think it's Lucha Libre, the kind of freestyle wrestling they're into over there. So lots of kind of colour. I ended up in a kind of a huddle, because you're trying to get some social snaps outside the stadium after the game, and I ended up in a kind of a huddle with a mariachi band. So just the most bizarre meld of excitement, joy, and people just high in life after the biggest win, arguably, in their country's history, definitely away from home.
Yeah, as they should be. Okay, so that was yesterday. The day before, you saw Leo Messi miss a penalty for Argentina in their game against Iceland, and the thunderclap, and like another phenomenal World Cup moment, really.
Yeah, it was a fantastic atmosphere at the Spartak Stadium, which after the Russia-Saudi Arabia game, I thought that was an exhibition compared to the Argentina-Iceland game. And then the stakes were raised even further yesterday with Germany-Mexico. But brilliant atmosphere. Argentina dominated the ball, 78% possession. And they were too reliant on Messi. Messi was trying to give the ball to Messi to do everything. He had 11 shots on goal. didn't score. One weakness in his game has been penalties, because from 12 yards out, he can't be as deceptive as he is with his amazing feet at club level. But he's missed over 20 penalties for Barcelona at club level. Of course, missed that penalty in 2016 in the Copa America final against Chile when he skied over the bar. This time, he sent it to Hannes Halldorsson's right, and the keeper parried it away. And I was watching Messi intently after the match. I was watching him before and after the game, and he didn't seem to be happy. He didn't seem to be enjoying it. He wasn't laughing. He wasn't joking. He was just pure serious. And when the final whistle went, he just ripped off the armband. He didn't throw it away, but that utter sense of frustration. People were coming around him. He didn't want to know. And he's carrying a burden, lads. He's carrying a significant burden. He knows he's 31 years of age now. He knows this is his best last chance of a World Cup triumph. And I wonder, is he thinking to himself, you know what? Maybe the lads around me aren't good enough to carry us to a World Cup. Angel Di Maria was invisible. They are shaky defensively. Willy Caballero hasn't played that much football at club level. Was flapping a bit defensively. I'd worry about them. Given Iceland were very well organised. Like, Iceland are a decent team, but they're not world beaters. And Argentina now are going to Nizhny Novgorod for the Thursday match against Croatia, knowing that Croatia got their tails up. They won against Nigeria, and Argentina have a battle in their hands to keep themselves well in the hunt atop the group.
How great is the sense from what you've seen from the Argentina side of things after that game for wholesale change, in the sense that they need to get Paulo Dybala into that starting team alongside Lionel Messi? Of course, they both start in the exact same position, so that's what I mean by kind of fairly big changes to the side, potentially playing Dybala out wide, which in essence wouldn't make that much of a difference, given, as you'd outlined there, Angel Di Maria was pretty invisible.
Yeah, and Pavon and Banega, when they came on, were good. So I definitely see changes. Maradona, who was in the stadium wearing these most amazing red kind of fluorescent shades, wearing 2 watches and smoking a cigar, has come out and called the game plan employed by Jorge Sampaoli as a disgrace. That doesn't help matters. I definitely think we can see Dybala. Higuain came on late, so I definitely think we can see changes in the team. Aguero obviously will play. He scored the goal. He was sharp. It was an excellent goal that he took. So he will definitely play with Messi. But I worry more so, lads, about what's behind them. I worry about Mascherano. Maybe he's the light of other days, and I'd worry about the fact that Marcos Rojo hasn't played that much football. And I just thought they were shaky at the back at times, and that would concern me. Maybe not, as I said, for the group stages, but for later on in the competition. I think the best team I've seen so far, lads, have been Spain. Spain and Brazil last night. Brazil were good last night. Spain were good. Despite the Ronaldo masterclass, Spain were good on Friday.
Yeah, Spain are going to win the World Cup. There's no question about it. Not that it's like putting my neck out there.
No question about it. It's a bit early for that now.
Yeah, no, it's never too early to say no question about it.
Owen piled in when it was 3-2 to Spain. He was like, "Yeah, that's it. I'm cashing my chips in and rolling it into the middle and putting it all on Spain, 5-1." I'm not sure. I think that Brazil. Still, like, if they'd scored a couple of those chances last night, they were creating chances. There was good movement. There's strength. There's a bit of working out to do exactly what their best 11 is and how much responsibility Neymar's going to have. But I wonder, we were talking about this earlier, is this the World Cup where we actually finally see a team break out and win a World Cup that hasn't won it before? An outsider team. We still haven't seen Belgium just yet, for example. Belgium, maybe.
Yeah, Belgium. Belgium are, I suppose, the one team that we haven't seen that would be in that top echelon of contenders. I would agree with you. Brazil were my tip, but they're still my tip to win the World Cup. I think Brazil and Spain, I suppose what I'm saying is that Brazil and Spain have followed, even though neither of them won, they followed the path that we thought they would take in terms of their performances. Germany didn't. France didn't. England, I don't think were in that top echelon. Argentina did not. So you're looking at issues with certain teams that we thought were top contenders. Belgium now will come out tonight, play Panama and probably win. So yeah, in terms of a breakout, but I would agree with you. I think that, Uruguay could, after slipping past Egypt, could be a team that could go far. Mexico, we've seen. And what's very interesting, lads, is now we could have a Brazil-Germany last 16 match. If Brazil top their group and if Germany finish second in their group, they're going to be the last 16, which has an knock-on effect for England, because it could mean that the second place team in England's group, England-Belgium group, might miss them altogether ahead of the semi-final. So that's what I'm seeing in terms of the draw. But just an incredible few days in terms of excitement, unpredictability. And it's like you have all these circuses, the most amazing circuses in the world, just sprouting up out of nowhere. The party goes on for a few hours and then they roll up the tents and they go somewhere else. It's just very much the way I kind of feel about the World Cup, lads, is when you know that Snapchat thing where you open your mouth and a rainbow comes out. That's what I think the World Cup is like to me. That's how I'm feeling at the moment, you know. So I even got a trip into Moscow Shamrock's GA Club yesterday morning as well. So
We're going to play that for you on tomorrow's show. So Russia's only GA club, is that right?
Yes, that's right. So they're doing their best for the diaspora, and it's just great to see even new nationalities like learning the basics of Gaelic football, and I just thought it was fantastic to see. There's an Irish bar here, Katie O'Shea's, which I was in last night watching the Brazil game, and it's just great to see that meld of cultures. And one thing what interests me, lads, is that how are the Russian people going to react to this? And that, like the Metro yesterday was they got this song. I don't know what the song is, the Mexican song, but they constantly have the same song, a bit like the Boys in Green, that they constantly keep singing. And just there was like policemen taking photos with sombreros, and you people on the Metro getting involved, the Russian people. And I just think from an openness point of view, this could be a real game changer in terms of Russian society, in terms of opening their eyes to what's going on around the world when everybody's coming to them, probably for the first time ever. I mean, America didn't come to the 1980 Olympic Games, and I think this will be a good cultural legacy for Russia.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pity America didn't actually qualify just for that reason alone. Your next game is Poland and Senegal. What else have you got planned for this week?
What I want to do, obviously, watch England this evening. It's interesting that he seems to pick the team already. He seems to be doing quite a good, assured job, Southgate. I mean, he's definitely got the message right. Now, whether the football will follow has to be wait and seen. What I'm going to do tomorrow night, lads, is I'm going to watch Russia against Egypt with the locals and see how they get on tomorrow night. I think the match is in St. Petersburg, but I'll watch that here locally. Then it's Poland against, as you say, Senegal tomorrow, and then on Wednesday it's Portugal against Morocco. So that's the next few days plan. But this is like you're in the ring with Mike Tyson at the World Cup. You're getting punched in a good way every day, and you just have to pick yourself up and find where the next bout is, you know.